Hey guys, welcome to Chris's Beer Reviews. Today is Thursday, January the 9th, and today's review is going to be coming from the Bridgeport Brewing Company out of Portland, Oregon. I've actually yet to try this specific beer, but one of my local liquor stores here, it's actually the one that I frequent the most, Cedar Chest Liquors here in town. They've recently picked up a different distributor, and this distributor is relatively small, but they are carrying craft beer and supplying the stores in my town. So their selections are a little slim right now, but they've actually been getting in some decent beers here lately. So I've been buying my beer here in town instead of in the North Mississippi area where I work. But anyway, like I said, it's coming out of the Bridgeport Brewing Company out of Portland, Oregon, and it is their Kingpin Double Red Ale. It says here that it's triple hopped, which I don't understand, with it being a double red ale, why it is triple hopped. Usually the double means the amount of hops, I guess. That's what I'm taking it as. But I could be wrong, so in the comments, guys, if I'm wrong, you feel free to correct me. But like I said, it's their Kingpin Double Red Ale, and like I said, triple hopped. Let's see, it comes in at a 7.5% ABV. I believe Beer Advocate says that it has 65 IBUs. Let's see what all Beer Advocate has to say. Beer Advocate itself scored it at an 81, which is good. And then the reviewers of Beer Advocate actually scored it as an 80, which is still good. Like I said, 7.50% alcohol by volume, and yes, it does come in at 65 on the International Bitterness Unit scale. Says its availability is year-round, bottle on tap, cask, or nitro bottle. Let's see, no food pairing. I believe Beer Advocate has stopped with the food pairing. But anyway, I also checked it on Rate Beer. Rate Beer, of course, as always, they give it typically a lower score. For this specific beer, they gave it a score of 71, which is still not bad for Rate Beer, but for the style, the double red ale, I guess, they're only giving it a 28. Let's see, on the Rate Beer scale, which is a 1 to 5. This one gets a scale of 3.24 rating, that is. But anyway, like I said, 7.5% alcohol by volume, 65 IBU. It says it's to be served in a snifter or a tulip style glass. It also says that it's a full-flavored, red-colored ale that uses a rarely grown Willamette Valley-style hop variety known as Liberty hops. I'm not going to go into the history of that specific hops, but it is actually grown by these brothers that had a farm in Silverton, Oregon, and so forth. But anyway, it's triple hop for bitter aroma and a unique dry hopped character. So anyway, enough of the talk. Let's go ahead and let's crack this thing open and let's pour it up and see what it looks and tastes like, guys. And I am also going to be pouring this one out of a tulip glass. So let's pour it up. Okay. A lot of the reviewers on Beer Advocate actually said that this beer does not pour much of a head. I beg to differ. This thing has poured about a good 2-finger, kind of caramel colored head, very carbonated. I cannot see really, it's pretty hazy, but it pours a very dark, ruby colored red body. In the lights, it's very beautiful. Like I said, it's kind of hazy. I actually did not chill this beer very much, so it's probably right at the preferred degree of temperature which is usually 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, guys. So like I said, poured a nice size head. So far, decent head retention. Can't tell about any of the carbonation within the body, but it has a pretty carbonated head. Beautiful beer, guys. Beautiful beer. Like I said, I've been wanting to try this one because it definitely comes from one of my favorite breweries, being Bridgeport and all. Their India Pale Ale is phenomenal. It's one of my top choice IPAs. So if you see that one or pretty much anything from Bridgeport, you can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be tasty, and it's going to be a upper end beer. I recently had their it's called their Old Knucklehead Barley Wine Style Ale. I have not been doing any video reviews lately. I've been doing a lot of written reviews on Facebook and Instagram, and so this is my first review in a couple of weeks or so. But anyway, I tried the barley wine style, the Old Knucklehead. I'm not going to go into a review on that one, but it was a phenomenal beer. One of the best barley wine style ales I've ever had, hands down. Probably the best. Very delicious. But anyway, guys, let's get back to this review. Like I said, very beautiful, dark ruby colored body. Not much carbonation as far as the body. Beautiful head. It's still maintaining about a one-finger head, off-white in color. So anyway, let's put a nose on it. Okay, I can definitely tell that this is going to be a very hop-forward beer, but I'm getting a lot of malt characteristics on the nose. Lots of caramel, a little bit of pine, not a whole lot on the nose. It's pretty citrusy, lots of, I would say the citrus aspects are probably your typical grapefruit, little lemon zest maybe, but it's a very hoppy beer, guys. I would say on the nose it's more, it's got a little floral characteristics to it, but more malt forward and more citrusy. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a safe bet that this is going to be a very citrusy style hopped beer, but very delicious smelling, guys. Actually, one of the better smelling beers that I've had recently. I haven't really been drinking a lot of IPAs. I've had one or two here lately, but I've mostly been drinking darker beers, a lot of Belgian style. I've drank, let's see, barley wines, some porters. I've had a stout recently, but so this is my first true IPA, sort of. They're not really calling it, they're just calling it a double red ale, but it's very, very similar to an IPA. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a drink, guys, see what it tastes like. Okay, this definitely has characteristics of an IPA, but I would say they're trying to come forward with this beer as a red style ale. I would say that this one is a very, very good example of an imperial red style IPA. I wouldn't say that this is just a regular double red ale. I would say this one is more of an imperial red IPA. Very, very hop forward. I'll go ahead and say, in my opinion, this beer rates higher than a 65 IBU. I would go ahead and say this thing is more like a 75 or 80. This thing is as bitter as Stone Ruination, almost. Very hop forward. Little bit of malt sweetness thrown in there, but I'm getting more hops, a lot of citrus, tons of pine. This is a very good example of an imperial double IPA. Very, very delicious, guys. I'm going to take one more drink. But yeah, pretty good amount of lacing on the side of the glass, kind of spotty. but very, very gorgeous looking. Like I said, very hop forward. The first thing that I taste when this beer touches my tongue is the hops, and then soon followed by a little bit of malt sweetness, but pretty much in the middle I'm getting a lot of the citrus, pine, earthy, floral characteristics, and a hot bitterness that lasts all the way to the finish. This thing is very bitter, guys, very bitter. If you like hopped up ales, then Bridgeport Kingpin Double Red Ale is your beer. It's very hoppy, so this is right up my alley. I would go ahead and say on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this beer a good solid 8.5 to 9. Because, you know, a lot of people don't like hop bombs. I love them. I love the hoppier the beer, the better, guys. I love them. They're my favorite. And I would go ahead and say this is one of my favorite ales that I've had here recently, in a long time, actually. So, if you see Bridgeport Kingpin Double Red Ale in stores, pick it up. Bridgeport has really yet to fail me. I've had 3 or 4 of their different brews, and they've all been fantastic. They don't rate very high on Rate Beer or Beer Advocate. I don't understand why, because they're just, to me, they're almost as good as Sierra Nevada, if not better. I wouldn't really say they're better, but they're right up there with Sierra Nevada. Very hopped up ale, guys. Kingpin Double Red Ale. Pick it up. Highly recommended. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I'm going to take one last chug. We're about to approach the weekend, guys, so as always, drink safe, drink responsible. And what I was going to say is I actually am not going to be able to really enjoy this weekend. I've got work on the brain because I have to work Saturday. So anyway, for all you guys out there that do not have to work this weekend, drink safe, drink responsible. Cheers, guys.
Lost